Hi everyone, it's Heather from True North Spirit Medicine here today. How are you going? Today I'm going to be doing the energy reading for June 2023. I love it when I get the date right. And you can probably see in my face, it takes a fair bit of concentration to think about what month I'm in. Okay, so June. There's a lot going on astronomically, same thing in this instance. Planets are moving around, and you might have noticed that your dreams have been getting more intense, maybe a little bit weird. Your sleep patterns might be changed a bit. Hunger and thirst patterns as well might be a bit different to normal. You might be hungrier or less hungry, or craving certain foods that you wouldn't normally buy or consume. My advice on that is to just go with it. Particularly the food cravings. What that usually signifies is that your body requires some nutrients or elements or amino acids or whatever it is, unless it's 10 tons of iced donuts, and that's a different kind of craving. But just go with it, because it's your body's innate intelligence asking you to provide it with certain fuel, I guess. I've just watched Pam Gregory's video for the full moon on June 3rd. Highly recommend watching it or her, or some information around that. I mean, there's a lot of, I'm not an astrologer, but I just find it interesting. And I like the way that Pam Gregory talks, the way she talks about the expression of the layers of energy that can play out. And that's according to us, like how we think and how we feel and how we move forward in our own personal lives has an influence on the collective consciousness. Of course it does. We're all connected to the field. One thing I do remember that she just said was that expect the energy in June to speed up. So Mercury's moving into one of its home signs of Gemini, and Mercury's the messenger, so things tend to go quite quickly. It's my birthday month in June, so that's quite nice. Oh, the other thing about time, you might have noticed that it feels like it's speeding up, probably because it is. But yeah, like some days are like, geez, that day went really quickly, or like last night, went to bed like a normal person, fell asleep, woke up a couple of times, but anyway, got up this morning and it felt like I was, about to walk into the kitchen, talk to my flatmate, and I was like, it didn't feel like any time had passed since when I spoke to them last, which was last night. But a whole, 8 or 9 hours or whatever had actually passed. Yeah, it was a really strange feeling. I have actually had that feeling before, but not for a long time. But do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, not chunks of time go missing, but it's just there's an acceleration happening that you might notice. Don't freak out about it. If you're new to all of this, don't freak out. Don't freak out about any of this if you can help it. Things are as it should be. Things are as they should be. Yeah, bad grammar, but you know what I mean. Okay. Enough waffling from me. I've got a new deck of cards, which I'm quite excited about. I was ordering some birthday presents for some other people recently, and this deck caught my eye and I just couldn't help it. It's beautiful. I've only kind of used it twice, just sort of playing with it over the last couple of weeks for myself, but I can already tell that I'm going to learn. I'm patting the deck that I feel like I'm going to learn a lot from this. I'm slightly intimidated to sort of use it on camera because I don't know why. Probably because there's a lot to it, and I don't want to be sitting here reading the book to you, because that's a bit boring, but we'll see how we go anyway. But it's called the Herbal Astrology Oracle by Adriana Ayales. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Artwork by Josephine Clerks. Herbal Astrology. And it's just beautiful. The artwork's lovely and the information's quite profound. Yeah, you'll see as we go through. So originally my intention was just to use this new deck, but at the last moment when I was setting up to film this video, for you, my instinct said to pull this deck out as well. So this is Colette Baron Reed's The Spirit Animal Oracle, illustration by Jenna Della Gratalia. And I giggled because the card that I was thinking about when I picked up the deck to bring to you is actually the card that's on top, which is Dear Spirit. But anyway, so I'm gonna definitely use the new Herbal Astrology Oracle deck and possibly use one of the Colette Baron Reed ones. I'm not 100% sure yet, but oops, I'm going to start. I'll draw the cards and then I'll do the channel and then we'll read the cards. Thanks for following along. It's quite nice. And the people that do watch inspire me to keep going. So thank you very much. And I appreciate the comments, whether they're public or private. It's nice. It's nice to hear that the work I'm doing here is resonating with others, and it really does encourage me to keep going. So thank you. Okay, new deck. Exciting. Yeah. Okay. I feel like there's a lot to say today. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Interesting. The artwork's just quite stunning. Right, let me see if they're in the right order. I have no idea. Yes, I do. I don't know what that... Yeah, okay. I think that just has to go there. Yes, okay. So I've got 3 of the Herbal Astrology ones. And I am going to shuffle the... I feel like I just want to take the Deer card from the top. But I won't. I will shuffle the Animal Spirit deck and see what we get. Usually what I do, which is quite nice, it's the advantage of me being the one doing these readings, is that usually what happens is during the month I'll leave the deck or the decks sort of on my bookcase where I can see them with one or more of the cards that we've drawn facing up, so I sort of get infused with more of the energy during the month, if that makes sense. Yeah, and obviously then they sort of, those 3 or 4 cards that I read from for that month, I usually sort of have them face up, whereas the rest of the deck is face down in the box. So and I do remember reading the Deer card a few months ago, so it's actually the leftover energy from a few months ago, which is why I didn't just... It's just popped up again. And there's 55 cards. No, 68 cards here. That's funny. Yeah, but that's why I didn't originally just pick it up. It'd be funny if it was that again, but it's not. Dolphin Spirit. This and that untrue. Okay, so we'll get to that momentarily. I'm a bit excited. That's nice. Okay, let's see what they've got to say. Greetings, dear ones, and thank you again for joining us here today at this beautiful and vast table of ours. For you know you are always welcome. And I hope you understand, I trust you understand, that however you visualize it and however you visualize us is all perfect. It's in perfect alignment for your vision for us and how you see us. including who you see us as being sitting at this table. Heather would also like to remind us that the most important element, aspect of this, all of this work is how it feels, how it makes you feel. That loving, compassionate, hope-filled, held gently feeling is the most important aspect or element of any of this. We smile as the birds sing outside the window for us. We would like to take that as a reminder for you, each of you, to be in as much of the energy of gratitude as you can. We remind you that the universe is indeed a mirror for your frequency output. So if your frequency output is worry and lack and negativity and stress and anger and fear and imbalance, then that is the frequency match that you are putting out into the field. And of course that is what will be reflected back to you in the main. However, if you flip the script, as they say, and you can energy output love, compassion, guidance, benevolence, joy, love, balance, gratitude, peace, belonging, love, then that is the frequency match that you will receive from us, from the universe, from that 0 point field within which we all operate. So flip the script, my friends, as much as you can. And if you feel you cannot, then ask us for help. Ask your human friends for help. Ask your angelic friends for help. And if even that, if all of that is outside of your current remit, then imagine a beautiful golden lattice, like your latitude and longitude lines that surround the earth. Imagine it as a beautiful golden net and simply lean into that. And when you lean into that, my friends, you are in a perfect place of receiving. It is comfortable, it is joyful and relaxing, it is safe, and it is for you. Hooray! So we want to come back to talking again about focus and discernment. This month will indeed move quickly, and you will have many decisions and choices and opportunities and, for some of you, crises to deal with. And we ensure you that you have our support and our assistance, but it is imperative that you stay connected to your source within. And we have said this many times before, you must connect to us like plugging in your phone. You plug in your soul to the universal charger of source energy. And when you do that and you have a clear chimney from which to receive this energy, then it is not so difficult to see what is right and wrong. It is not so difficult to make the right choice. And it is not so difficult to feel into whether others around you have your best interests at heart or not. For there are some challenges ahead, my friends, some deceits perhaps, some deceptions perhaps. This could be personal, this could be governmental, this could be global. We ask only that you stay in trust, that all is well, all is in alignment with what needs to fall away in order for the new to be rebuilt. And we also ask that you stay in touch with your own heart. For the heart, the brain and the pineal are indeed the holy trinity of your instinct, my friends. And when you are connected to your heart, your brain and your pineal, then you can do no wrong in essence. You can make no wrong choices, as you might say. What we show Heather now is a great pathway and a great spotlight or torch or flashlight, if you prefer, lighting up this pathway before you. And that is indeed what your instinct does, your higher self, your connection to source energy, your connection to us and others like us, your spiritual team, if you will. We are like forerunners that go before you on this pathway that you choose to travel. And we can, if you like, light it for you, light it up for you. Just as the light and the love and the integrity all across the planet are increasing like floodlights on a football stadium. For each of you on your own individual pathways, we're showing Heather an image of us running ahead of you with torches. It's quite amusing. And we do it with joy and glee and a great deal of humour. So please ask us to be your runners with the torches. Please ask us to light the path for you. If you are unsure, if you don't know where to turn or how to move forward, then ask. Please show me in accordance to my highest good. Please show me the next best steps to take. Please show me the best ways to move forward. For example, use your own words, devise your own mantras, devise your own questions that suit you. This is for you, and everything that you do, remember, resonates out amongst that beautiful golden net, that 0 point field, that energy bubble that is around you and around the collective, from which you give and receive every second of every day. But yes, ask us to light your path, and we will. And then you can see the speed bumps, you can see the potholes, you can see the gifts, you can see the, whatever, you can see the road. It's clear. We make it clear for you because we love you. Even some potholes that you may stumble down, we will be there to hold your hand and catch you as quickly as you let us. For we love you deeply and we love you dearly, and we want you to succeed. We want you to be abundant in all things, in all matters, in all manners, in health and wealth and happiness and community and creativity. We want you to be abundant. The more abundant you are, the more joy you spread just by being you out in the world. And that, my dear friends, is more than enough. Is more than enough. Be in joy as much as you can. We love you, and we will talk to you again, perhaps sooner than you think. And so it is. Yaay. That's so nice. That felt really close as well. And again, I forgot I was talking to you through a camera. I like it when that happens. It's kind of nice. I don't want to open my eyes, but I will, because, it's a bit weird otherwise. I can channel with my eyes open. Some people have asked me that. But I prefer to do it with my eyes closed, especially those kind of deeper channels. Again, it's easier for me to concentrate. Yeah, nice. Okay. Let us move forward. I like that. I've still got that image of them running ahead with torches lighting up the pathway. It's quite funny. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so the first card. So I think I mentioned before that I pulled a couple of these cards over the last couple of weeks from the Herbal Astrology book. And this is one of them. One of the ones that I pulled first for us. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Sorry. My brain's a bit, I've just been channeling, so it's always a bit whooshy when I come back. Okay, it's Ayahuasca, Rebirth. There's a lot going on in the card, in the images. There's a beautiful woman covered in ayahuasca vines. There's something there. Oh, it's like a baby inside a womb space. It's a DNA spiral. There's a leopard, I think. Some astrological symbols. Snake, serpent. There's a lot in this card. So I'll show it to you. Ayahuasca Rebirth. And I'll also drop it in so you can have a better look once I've finished the video. And as always, I will take photos of them and drop them post them. Right verb. Post them on my Facebook and Instagram pages a couple of days, usually, by the time I get around to it. Yeah, post them on my Instagram and Facebook pages. Ayahuasca Rebirth. The easiest way, even though I'm tempted to look in the book, the easiest way actually really is to tune in and see what the card wants to say for us, and what else the Council of Elders, this particular spiritual team that join me for these YouTube video readings, want to say about that card. Rebirth, 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 rebirth. They're repeating that. And they're showing me that beautiful kind of, it almost looked like a bluish, indigo blue baby in the womb. And the womb space in this card is made up of the vines of the ayahuasca plants. So there's an invitation here to ask us to allow ourselves to be nourished as well. So when you're in that womb space, and all of us came from a womb space, hopefully what you got was nourishment and the feeling of love and support. At the very least you got nutrients, water, the very elements and the essence of what you needed to survive in a physical way, crossing through the cellular barrier between your mother and yourself. And they're showing me that, there's a word for it, but it's escaping my brain at the moment, where, stuff transposes from one cell to another. I forget the name for it, but that's okay. It'll come to me. But that feels like it's important. That infusing, just by being a baby sort of lying there swimming around in the womb, you get infused. I mean, I know there's an umbilical cord, obviously, but you also get infused through the very cellular structure with all sorts of things. And they're sort of making a parallel between that notion and our sense of meditation and what meditation is, and we keep talking about plugging into source energy and being connected to source energy, and doing that very intentionally and doing that daily, or more than daily, but there's also a reminder here, or perhaps an invitation, if you haven't worked in this way before, is also to open that up. So pretty much on the daily, whenever you breathe in and out, you are connected. You are consciously connected throughout the day. It's not just the 10 minutes where you sit cross-legged with your fingers in mudras, or however you do it, your meditation practice, but it's an all day, every day, 24/7 occurrence, that, and then you get that sort of. They're showing me, like, how we often talk about when you're sort of doing a meditation and you sit in like a bubble of light. They're showing me that the edge of that bubble of light being much more, what's the word? Not malleable, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not a wall. It's a structure that is soft and pliable, and that elements and energies can easily drift from your inside of your bubble to outside of your bubble. Does that make sense? I hope so. I think you know what I mean. But yeah, anyway, for this, there's other meanings to this card, and they're showing me the DNA spiral that's within this, and they're also talking about it's time to level up, my friends. Okay, part of this incoming energy, and that's part of what Pam Gregory just talked about in her video as well, was that there's going to be an increase, or there has been an increase, and it's going to increase even more, of sort of psychic energies on the planet. So if you're new to it, please don't be scared. It's natural, it's normal, you're not going crazy. And if you're an old hand at this, I think we've said this before, it's like make sure you put your seatbelt on, strap yourself in, do you know what I mean? Because it's like a roller coaster, it's going to get a bit faster. But if you've have some sort of mastery or over this stuff already, I've just got ear-ringing new downloads coming in, which is nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a bit easier because you're not sort of fumbling around trying to get your head around the basics. But still, there's a lot. Okay. So yeah, they're just showing me that DNA spiral. And yeah, allow yourself to be nurtured, and they're pointing out the second card, which is lemon balm, and it says nurture. So allow yourself to be nurtured as you would in the womb space, And funnily enough, I caught a bit of a cold over the weekend, so had to rest, which was quite nice. Sat in the sun and read my book, and patted the cat and stuff, and ate lots of honey and lemon and ginger and all that kind of stuff. And I have some lemon balm growing in the garden, so I've actually been drinking quite a lot of lemon balm tea lately. And if I read the book, I would discover more properties and qualities of lemon balm, but I'll do that later. Yeah, it's a beautiful card. The image is like, she almost looks like a sort of a saint, I want to say. Sort of long robes and like a halo behind her. She's holding somewhere between a basket and a platter of lemon balm sort of leaves. There's bees around her. Her robes are like a golden colour, like the colour of honeybees. And she's got a staff in her right hand, which maybe is connected to the lemon balm plant, or maybe it's a different message. This is why I felt a bit intimidated, because there's a lot to these cards. But again, I'm just going to trust that it was the right call to use them with you today. Here's the card. And also that I can learn more. I do feel like I'm going to learn a lot from these cards. Okay, lemon balm nurture. And they're pointing out the stars on her robe here as well. Lots of stars, white stars, or golden stars pale gold stars on a golden robe is what I want to say. Nurture. Okay, let's see what they've got to say. They're laughing because I'm sort of vacillating between trusting them to give us the right messages for the reading today and sort of wanting to pick up the book and make sure I get the information right, so to speak, in inverted commas. They think that's funny, but they're glad that I'm being brave and trusting them, so that's nice. Okay, lemon balm nurture. And the honeybees feel important here too. They're showing me honey, literally honey, and talking about the sweetness of life. They're also showing me the stars on the robe in that card being connected to the image that they were talking to us before about that golden grid around the planet, and that the fact that they're on her robe on the card is aligning with how we were just talking about how integral your participation in this shift is. Like, it's actually a part of you to be connected to source energy. It's actually a part of you. And again, they're showing me the DNA spiral, and we definitely talked about this last month, about how an aspect of your DNA is of the stars, so to speak. So just reminding us of that, and of course with that comes great responsibility, and of course again that comes with a great deal of support. Okay, you are not alone in this, and now they're bringing in the bees and showing us that in a beehive there is a community of thousands, like hundreds of thousands of them, and all of those hundreds of thousands of bees work together to bring us this beautiful jar of honey that we might spoon into our tea, for example. Community, connection, spirit, sweetness. Reliance as well, relying on yourself, relying on source energy, and relying on others is really important as well. Again, that sort of leaning back, feeling into that net, into that void, into that beautiful grid around you, you know. Yeah, allowing yourself to receive and nurture yourself. It's nice. It's a really nice feeling. Okay, let's shuffle this along a bit. Dragon's Blood. I'm most intimidated by this card. It's kind of funny. Dragon's Blood, Anima Mundi. Pretty sure Mundi means earth or world. Dragon's Blood. And the card, really interesting. So it's got a tree, which is obviously a dragon's blood tree, with flowers and flames and a beautiful kind of circle around the top full of, again, stars and the astrological symbols for this plant. Looks like flames coming off the other side. Reminds me of it, no, I was going to say reminds me of a dragon, but it's dragon's blood. See, I've still got a bit of that sort of leftover foggy brain cold energy. Anima Mundi. I'm asking what anima means, and what they're saying in response is awaken the world. I know that's not the literal translation of this Latin phrase, but what they're saying for us is awaken the world. The last two things I want to point out on the card here is that the trunk of the tree has a gash in it and there's drops of blood, and that the circle around the top of the tree has an eye. It's like the all-seeing eye in it. Yeah, really interesting. I'm going to look it up in the booklet. And if there's anything like super important, I'll drop it in the description below. Yeah, fascinating. Okay, they're pointing out the eye, they're pointing out the stars in that sort of circle or halo around the tree. And I just keep hearing the phrase awaken the world, awaken the world, awaken the world. They're saying this card is really a summary of this reading so far, where they've been reminding us of our own power and our own grace, our role in our very personal, very individual role in this global, universal shift towards love, compassion, integrity, peace, balance, joy. And they're showing me that eye, and they're saying the way that you awaken the world is by awakening the self. It's not through standing on a lectern and preaching, and it's not by seeing the faults in others and criticizing and pointing and poking, and it's not by withholding your energy because you're afraid you don't have enough, or it's not by, you know, shoulding on other people. It's by turning that beautiful third eye inwards to yourself and realizing, again from last month, that you are lit up inside. You are full of sparkles and fireworks with every thought and every feeling that you have. Your synapses are alight. Your synapses are alight from the inside out. And the more you are able to turn that beautiful third eye into self without being afraid, the more you can light up from the inside like a beautiful lantern. They're showing me the image of, like, you know, when you're camping or you're outside your tent, or you can see another tent or whatever, and there's a lantern on the inside of the tent. It sort of lights up the whole tent, so the tent sort of glows. It's that, like they're saying, you turn this inner eye inside and you see how beautiful and glowy and full of stars you are, and you just emanate light like a tent. It's a bit weird, but you know what I mean. That's really funny. I've never heard them use that metaphor or analogy or whatever it is before. It's quite funny. Yeah, you light yourself up from the inside, and then of course, you know, like they were saying before, every breath that you take, then you know, it passes through that sort of mutable what we think of as a barrier, you know, a bubble of light. Make it a soft-edged cloud instead, if you like, you know, that surrounds you instead of a bubble, which may seem to have some level of an impermeable sort of barrier around it, and that's not the case at all. And more so, it's less and less the case that there is a bubble, a boundary, I mean, around you versus the outside. Okay, it's much more like a soft-edged cloud, where the difference between you and the field where all things come from and all things are manifested from becomes blurrier in a good way, softer, you know, more able to be, things are more able to be, more able to flow from one to the other. So your thoughts and feelings are more able to manifest back to you faster and faster, which is another reason why it's really important to stay in your discernment as much as you can, because those edges are getting softer. It's nice. Yeah, don't be afraid of that. Show me like the tree pose in yoga, you know, where basically you just stand, essentially. Both feet on the ground, and you just stand and you just breathe, and you can have your eyes open or closed, you can have your hands here or by your side, it's up to you, but there's an invitation here to practice tree pose, where you just stand a moment or two every day, and you just are aware of your own posture, you're aware of your own strength, you're aware of your feet on the ground, you're aware of a beautiful kind of golden thread stretching up through your middle that connects, you know, the top of your head to the sky and the soles of your feet to the earth, and just stand. Stand in your own power. Connect with the tree energy here if you like. They're pointing out the trees and the plants that we've been working with in this deck so far today. And they're bringing in the element of water. So that last card that I drew from the Colette Baron-Reid deck is Dolphin. So as we sit here and we connect with the earth through our feet and ourself through the stars of our own light, and to the sky source energy through the top of our heads, they're also bringing in the beautiful water element, which is the lifeblood of everything. Without water we die. Pretty much everything will, and us in particular, quite quickly. We are very definitely the ebb and the flow of the tides. They show me the edge of like the tide line on a beach, you know, and you might be walking along the beach and the tide comes and goes. And even if it's high tide or low tide, doesn't matter. But what they're pointing out is that edge changes. It doesn't come to like a hard edged like ruler line in the sand, and that's the bit it comes to and goes back to. It's you know, some waves come in further and some waves come in less far, but there's a flow to it, yeah. And they're making the parallel between that and the invitation here to make the edges of your own personal energy field softer, a bit like that tidal kind of flow, like it still go out, you know, 4 meter diameter or 26 feet or whatever it is, but, or bigger if you want to embrace your neighborhood or whatever it is, but it's pliable, you know, it's pliable. The edges are more pliable than they ever have been, is what they're saying. Now I'm going to read the words in the Dolphin card and show it to you. This and that are true. So it's a dolphin leaping, and I think, it's a lotus. I was going to say, I think it's a crystal, looks like a crystal. And again, the golden light here, it's really important. But it looks kind of like a really open lotus flower underneath the dolphin. Dolphin spirit, this and that are true. Yeah, they're just saying this is connected to that discernment, so make sure that you're on track, you're on task, you're really focused on what it is that you want to manifest, who you want to be around, how you want to be in the world. Because even though dolphins are really positive spirits, and it's a beautiful, uplifting, sort of gold-filled, light-filled lotus card. They're saying for us, for this reading today, that this card in particular is talking about that, you know, dichotomy, duality energy that they were talking about before, saying just be aware that they're, you know, they've been saying for years, you know, the light gets turned on and it shows up the dust in the room, so to speak, as well as the gift of the new vacuum cleaner that can suck up all the old energy. So it's just making you aware that even though there's the potential for deceptions and challenges and all the rest of it in the air for June, so this and that may seem to be true, really, and they're pointing out the center of this beautiful sort of lotus flower here, really there's only one truth, and that's love. You know, does this event or person or opportunity or challenge or whatever, does it come, or news item that you're hearing about, does it have love at its core? And if it does not have love at its core, the invitation here is to nurture yourself. Coming back to the second card, nurture yourself. Literally put your hand on your heart and your hand on your belly and just go, does this serve me? Does this serve my highest good? You know, and if it does not, then walk away, put it down. Yeah. So I do feel like there's going to be challenges for people in this way, you know, choices to be made, left or right, up or down, you know, this path or that path. But again, stay connected to yourself, most of all, and source energy, and the part of you that is source energy. And those choices don't need to be difficult. They're showing me the dolphin and how happy they are, how they often seem to be laughing, and I can hear the dolphin, you know, it does kind of sound like laughter, and how easily they move through the waves. So that ebb and flow, it's like the up and down of the dolphin, you know, jumping through the waves. So there is an ease and flow here as well. And they're saying that's also informed by that speedy Gemini energy, okay? So you can sort of ride on the coattails, and again, now it looks like a big sort of dragon, coming back to that dragon's blood, awaken the world card. You can ride on the coattails of this, or a meteor where it's beautiful and you want to follow it with your eyes. Sorry, I'm doing lots of hand gestures. But yeah, you can ride on the coattails of this beautiful energy as it passes through you. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it feels good. A few challenges along the way for the month, but you've got support, remember? Yeah. But yeah, overall it feels really good and light and fast. So again, come back to gratitude. Gratitude kind of slows things down a bit as well, because what you're doing is often you're tending to notice the details within the whole. You know, I'm grateful for this beautiful sunny day, and you know, I'm grateful for, you know, the fresh water in my glass, or you know, you're noticing the smaller details in that sort of fast moving scenery, so to speak. So yeah, gratitude's key. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. That felt like it was a lot. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that helps. Follow along if you want to follow along. So like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, do all that kind of bizzo. What was I going to say? Oh, Redbubble. So currently I have 2 merchandise shops. Online print-on-demand shops. One's Threadless and one's Redbubble. Redbubble have turned a bit out of integrity. So I'm going to be taking that down shortly, and I'll be finding another option that has better postage for the Australians among us, myself included. Yeah, and there's going to be Etsy and other things to come. But yeah, keep an eye out on Facebook and Instagram. Follow along with me there if you want to. And yeah, that's where you get the updates. Oh, and the newsletter. I'll publish the newsletter in the next couple of days as well. So lots happening, but also lots of time for rest and self-nurture and reading a good book in the sunshine with the cat, which is quite nice. Alright, so I'm going to leave it there and go and get some of that lovely sunshine. And I wish you well. I hope you have a really good month of June. Have a bit of extra cake for me because it's my birthday month. Hooray! Yeah, much love, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.